Today, the second installment in the Making Your Sourdough Bread More Sour series. Today I'm going to vary the hydration of the starter and use it very late in the starter life cycle. Hi, I'm Sune and I'm a food geek. Today I'm going to be making my sourdough bread more sour by varying the hydration of the starter and using it when it's very mature. The starter hydrations that I'm going to be using are 50%, 75%, and 100%. I will let the starters ferment together, and when the 100% has grown to its peak and then fallen all the way down again, I will use the starters to make bread. There's a common belief that using a lower hydration starter will make it for more sour bread, so we're going to be testing whether or not that is true. If you're new to this channel, I bake a lot of sourdough bread and I make delicious food from all over the world. If you want to see more of this content, please join me by subscribing and ringing the bell so you won't miss any future videos. I'm using my experiment dough for this test. 80% very good bread flour and 20% delicious whole grain rye flour. 80% hydration, 2% salt, and 20% inoculation. Each dough is 700 grams, which fits perfectly in my 7-inch oval Banneton. It makes for a pretty small loaf, but that's the way I like my bread. The starters were converted from 100% to 50 and 75% hydration over a series of feedings. With the first feeding, I converted the hydration from 100% to the target percentage, and then I fed 1 to 10 to 10 4 times before using them to bake bread. If you'd like to support the channel, please consider becoming a member at Patreon. You can also buy some merch or use the links in the description for tools and ingredients. Thank you. Those were the words. This is the experiment.
This is an experiment, which means I won't go into the details like I will with a recipe. If you want the details of my method, go watch my video on my master recipe, which I'm linking in the card above. First, I'm going to mix my dough with the 50% hydration starter. It smells pretty ripe. The 50% starter is very dry, and to help disperse it, I put it into water to dissolve it a bit before mixing it in. Then I mix the dough using the 75% hydration starter. It also smells ripe, not much different than the 50%. I also dissolve the 75% in the water, as it's pretty thick. Then I mix the dough with the 100% hydration starter. I just wash out the bowl with the starter with a bit of water to get the rest out. This one smells pretty ripe too. I can't really discern any difference with the three. Then I leave all 3 doughs covered for 1 hour. Then I proceed to do the first set of stretch and folds. At this point, they have a pretty sour smell to them. Then I leave all 3 doughs for 30 minutes. Then the second set of stretch and folds. The ripe smell is mellowing and turning a bit fruity, and I leave all 3 to rest for 30 minutes. Then it's time for the third set of stretch and folds. Even less ripe smell now. As I can tell, there's good gluten development in all of these 3 doughs. They go straight into bulking containers. After they've grown 25%, I stop bulking and pre-shape all 3. I leave them to rest for 20 minutes on the counter. Then I final shape all 3 doughs. At this point they all smell fruity like a freshly grown starter. After they're all shaped, they all go straight into my very cold fridge. Then I let them retard for about 18 hours. When it's time to bake, I heat my oven to 260 degrees Celsius, 500 degrees Fahrenheit. When the oven is hot, I grab my dough from the fridge. This one is the one with 100% hydration starter. I flip it. I score it, and I bake it. And here's the reveal. Whee! Then I proceed to bake the dough made with the 75% hydration starter. Flip it. score it, bake it. Ready for the reveal? Whee! And then the one made with 50% hydration starter. Flip it. Score it. Bake it. And this video's final reveal. Whee! Now it's time to cut the bread and have a look at the crumb. 100% hydration starter. .75% hydration starter. .50% hydration starter. Let's look at them all together. Let's do the Foodgeek Sniff and Taste Test, TM. Smells wonderful, just like it usually does. Smells great, but not the least bit different. This one smells good too, but no different from the other two. Well, let's taste them. Great taste, well developed with a bit of a tang. This tastes the same, no more sour or tang. No difference in taste for this last bread either.
So that was a bit disappointing, but maybe not that unexpected. Even if the starter smells a lot more ripe, it does not transfer the sourness into the dough. Making a sourdough bread is essentially like feeding your starter, and with an inoculation of 20%, it's akin to a 1 to 5 to 5 feeding. My conclusion is that you need to put a larger amount of ripe starter into the bread to make a difference in the taste. So that'll be the next experiment. The problem is that all that pre-fermented flour in the starter has no useful gluten left, so maybe getting a freestanding bread will be difficult. It'll be interesting. I've gotten a lot of feedback on this series, people wanting to see new videos right away, but please consider that I do have to make a lot of experimenting off screen to make sure I give you a useful result. I promise that the next video will be out as soon as it's possible. Did the result of this experiment surprise you? Let me know in the comments. I hope you learned something today. See you next time.